Hey, did you know that today is the National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day? Really? Sounds interesting. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel with interesting painting video, and today we are going to paint a chocolate chip cookie. Yes, you heard it right. Today is the National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, and did you know there is a very short interesting story behind the origination and behind the creation of chocolate chip cookie. In 1938, Ruth Graves Wakefield came up with the idea of creating chocolate chip cookies. When one day she was just creating the normal dough of the cookies and she got an idea to put some chocolate chunks inside the normal dough of cookies. And that is how she created the recipe of chocolate chip cookies. So let's go right into the video and let's paint a realistic chocolate chip using watercolors. So here I am showing you the three brushes which I am going to use. With the rubber I am going to clean up my drawing, and then I am going to take my watercolors, and with the watercolors I am going to give first the water wash, and then I am going to take the mustard color and pour over it so that I get the equal amount of mustard color all over the cookie. Going to start shading with the mustard and the orange mixture, and I'm going to start doing some shading, and I always start up with the lighter shades of the colors, and as you can see that the first wash of the mustard color was very light, so now I'm going to build it up layer by layer, and today the layers are going to be so many, so it's very hard to explain how many layers of paint I have used on top of this drawing. So this is how I'm building up the lighter shadows. Always make sure that you are building the shadows from light to dark, because once the watercolors are applied they can't be removed off from the paper, and if you do any kind of mistake that cannot be corrected once the paint has been applied. So here you can see that I have added a lighter mix of shadow shades also, and now I'm going to start over with the painting the chocolate chip on the top of the cookie. Now here you can see that the starting tones of the paintings have been created, and now I'm going to build them up with some darker tones gradually. Moving on, I'm going to take two brushes in my hand, and on the one brush I'm going to take the mustard color, and I'm also going to put it right next to the brown shades which I'm putting, and this is how I'm going to mix up the darker and the lighter tones so that there is no harsh line, and always make sure that you blend away the harsh lines as quickly as much possible with the help of a brush, so that there are no lines visible, because once it's dried up it's not going to blend out. You can see that I have given the initial wash of brown color inside the chocolate chip, and now I am moving on with the mustard and the orange color, and I am going to shade inside the cookie, and this would be a little bit darker from the previous mustard color which I have applied, and gradually I am going to also make sure that I blend it out and there are no harsh lines inside it, and the paint is nicely blended. I'm also going to render a darker amount of shade under the cookie to make sure that I render the shadow area as well gradually in layer by layer form, so that it brings out a little bit of depth of my drawing and the depth of my painting. I'm going to apply the orange shade more on the areas where I need shadows on the cookie, because I have to make sure that my painting is having some shadows and some highlights as well. So be very bold while applying the watercolors, but gradually you should also blend them out so that they don't leave any harsh line. It's very important that your colors are blended, and that is how your painting is going to look realistic. So here I'm also shading the chocolate chip cookies with the dark brown shade, so that we also try to make sure that all the shadows are there. So gradually I'm going to put up the darker shades also along with the lighter shades, because that is how I am going to blend the darker shades along with the lighter shades. Here I'm just making sure that I make some textures along with the painting, because these textures are going to be rendered with lighter hand first, and then we can bring some dark shades on the top of these textures. So one by one I'm going to put up the orange and the mustard color on the different places of the cookie wherever I want, and I'm just going to make sure that the shape is also enhanced. To make your painting look realistic, it's very important that you render the shadow of the any object or any food item in such a way that it should look realistic. So as you can see that the shadow actually has created a lot of depth under the cookie. So one by one I'm going to put up the lines and the texture and the shade, and as you can see that I'm not working with only one color, I'm working with multiple colors at the same time, because I like to make sure that every color is nicely blended. If I'm applying the darker shade, I'm also applying the lighter shades along with, so they are nicely blended. A very important tip here which I want to share with you is that while working with the watercolors, always make sure that you are working with the highlights and the shadows, because with that, with these both things, you can actually make your painting, any sort of painting, look realistic. And as you can see that I'm applying the darker tones, and I'm also blending it out with another brush which has no paint on it. And this is how every single shadow, the texture, the lines which are appearing on the cookie, they're not looking very harsh, and the texture is also visible and the colors are also visible and yet blended. Now you guys must be wondering that whenever I put up the color and the color is wet, it looks darker, and once it gets dried up, it becomes lighter and non-visible. That is because I'm not working with the darker shades much, and I want that the darker shades should be applied at the end on the final touches, and I should keep on working in layers with the same tones of colors which are mustard, mustard orange and browns, and I'm not going to mix any other shades inside the cookie, and I'm trying to be very realistic. And always make sure that whatever you are painting, you should decide your colors beforehand. You should know which colors are going to be the most lightest, then the medium tones, and then the darker tones, and then the colors for the shadows. You should decide it earlier before starting off with the painting. So guys, here I am almost done with painting the chocolate chip cookie, and here you can see even the camera is not justifying the proper colors, but I hope that you guys can see that the colors are really soft, realistic, and this is how the complete painting looks like. I hope that you like today's painting. Okay guys, so this was today's painting of realistic chocolate chip cookie. I hope that you enjoyed watching today's video and the process of how I painted this realistic chocolate chip. So if you like today's video, please don't forget to like it, comment down below if you like the video and the tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe my channel.